This 4x4 is driven by Simon Winter of the Syngenta Foundation. It was recorded at the AGRF conference in Kigali in 2022. How does climate adaptation impact on the priorities of the Syngenta Foundation in supporting smallholder farmers?
At Syngenta Foundation for Sustainable Agriculture, we are exclusively focused on low-income, pre-commercial smallholder farmers and helping them improve their productivity, improve their incomes and improve their livelihoods. With climate change wreaking increasing havoc in the tropics, which is where we work, we have to help farmers tackle those challenges and the risks they're facing. And they can't do that by continuing to monocrop or continuing to use traditional agricultural practices. They have to change the way that they're farming, they have to diversify their farms, and this is an absolutely critical challenge for us right now. And this is what we call adaptation in smallholder agriculture.
How can seed systems adapt to climate change?
So for us, we have traditionally focused on two areas of interventions. One is around innovations, and in particular seeds, getting improved seed varieties, whether they're open pollinated varieties or hybrids, to be more accessible, more affordable and more available to smallholder farmers. And we do this in partnership with CGIAR, institutions, universities, National Agricultural Research Services and so on, that all the varieties we're promoting are now stress tolerant to climate stresses in the particular localities in which we're helping them be developed. So we have an example of something we call AAA maize, which is a cross between Syngenta germplasm and Simit germplasm, and this is getting commercialized in low-income communities across India and now going into other Asian countries, and we want to bring that to Africa as well.
How can insurance help smallholders?
We've been working for quite a long time on innovations around index-based insurance solutions, so that one of the most critical challenges that smallholders face, which is access to finance, can be de-risked. This is a sector that still requires a lot of work, sector-wide work. It's very complex, and what we're now doing is making sure that we bundle insurance solutions with good agronomic advice, quality inputs, and other things that really help farmers actually reduce the risk of their production first, so the insurance then is just an overlay on top of that risk reduction. Now, in addition, what we're looking at is three areas of new interventions. One is around making sure that soil data, very locally specific and useful soil data, is available and affordable to farmers. The second thing that we're doing is we're looking at other types of soil amendments and interventions in terms of agricultural practices, things like lime or mycorrhizas. And then also, thirdly, we're looking at farm diversification. So, and that needs to be market driven for smallholders. Very low income smallholders are not going to take risks on planting cover crops if they don't know how to sell the products and get an affordable income out of it.
Can smallholders access climate funds to put in place smart technology?
There's a huge risk at the moment that climate finance is going to be mostly used by large commercial farmers in agriculture because they're the ones who have the mechanisms to be able to verify that they're getting carbon into their soils or they're using adaptation practices and so on. Trying to get affordable verification systems and monitoring and evaluation systems that are right-sized for low-income smallholders that can be used by intermediaries that are working with those smallholders is critical. So the final piece of this is then the last mile. We work a lot on what we call agri-entrepreneur networks in low-income communities, getting young people from those communities to be good entrepreneurs who can be change agents for their communities, bringing all of these innovations and market opportunities to the farmers. This climate adaptation has to be delivered by those people, and that's going to require financing because there's going to be a gap between the initial start of these interventions and when they're going to start to be profitable because of all the changes that are required. So that tapping into the Green Climate Fund and other major sources of climate finance who are in principle committed to supporting climate adaptation, but in practice don't have the mechanisms to be able to deliver it to local entrepreneurs and to smallholders is an absolute key priority for us right now.
The CASA programme is proud to be building partnerships across the world to drive investment for climate-resilient agri-food systems. Visit the events page, past events section, to hear other expert viewpoints shared in the CASA 4x4s and webinar series.